There are 4 types of things you can buy in life. First, there's cheap and low quality, and as the saying goes, you get what you pay for. Then there's expensive and low quality. Some would say you're paying for the brand, but others would call it a straight up scam. Third is expensive and high quality, which can be worth the money, but you gotta be careful here. There's only so much quality you can get out of an item, but the price, however, can go up forever. And finally, there's the rare gem, cheap and high quality. These are things that are affordable, reliable, and somehow last way longer than you expected. Over the years, I've accumulated a bunch of things that fall into the 3rd and 4th categories. Let's start with the first one, a fleece jacket. This is lightweight, warm, and still holding up after 8 winters. There's a bunch of dog fur stuck on it and a tear on the sleeve right here. But for the most part, you can't really tell. This cost me about $80. I found it at Nordstrom. It's some European brand right here that doesn't even seem to exist anymore. My favorite thing about this jacket is that it's got like a silky smooth interior here that feels cool to the skin. It's perfect for spring and fall and mild winters when you just want a light jacket that doesn't make you sweat profusely as soon as you start moving around. Next up, we got this bamboo steamer basket from the brand Minimalist. I got this for $30, which is definitely overpriced, but it came as a bundle deal with 3 bags of dumplings. Dumplings are the perfect mix of fat, carbs, and protein. It is a bit lacking on the fiber front, but you can steam vegetables on the top layer and dumplings on the bottom layer. All you need is a pan filled up with water, bring it to a boil, put the dumplings and vegetables in the basket, set it on top, let it cook for 11 minutes, and prepare some vinegar and feast. Item number 3. I bought this sliding drawer from Home Depot and installed it myself in my cabinet. Even though it's not the cheapest, it unlocks the value of my home by making these hard to reach areas more accessible. There are only so many of these access points that are perfectly at waist level in my home, so I don't have to bend down or reach up. So I really want to maximize use of this space. You see, when you slide it out, the deeper half of the cabinet becomes no different than the shallow half. This is my daily use drawer. I've got my supplements, hand lotion, box cutters for opening packages, my laser cap for hair growth, and chargers. It's extremely rewarding to get to use this thing that I built myself with the help of Home Depot every single day. There's not a whole lot of things that I've built for myself. Here in Southern California, it's a very common thing for you to turn your AC to 72 degrees. And depending on how hot the summer is, that could easily rack up over $100 worth of monthly electricity costs. In my experience though, I usually blast the AC when I first get home after a walk with my dog. And after about 15 minutes or so, it just becomes a little bit uncomfortably frigid. Unless it's like well over 100 degrees, I don't really need to be constantly blasting the AC. I just need like a gentle breeze to cool me down. And this is where the tower fan comes in. I bought this on Amazon for $39 and it still works after about 6 years of usage. It has one job, which is to blow. And it saves me at least $39 a month, which is actually its full value's worth. So basically every month that you use this, you're gaining $39, which is completely wild. So here's the thing. Some version of this is always on sale during Black Friday, but even if you get this on sale, it still falls into the expensive category. But it is by far the most lightweight and convenient vacuum I've ever used. I've had this one for over 5 years now, and I still use it several times a week. It makes cleaning casual and fun. One of my favorite pastimes now is to snipe at Toshi Dog's hair. Watch this. It's a very satisfying feeling. This is another thing that you can pretty much always find on sale during Black Friday. I drink a lot of lattes, at least 300 cups a year, and at $6.50 per cup, that is $1,950 per year. More than 3 times the price of this espresso machine. I really wish I could say that is how much money I saved, but I am a very lazy person. And I still buy my lattes from cafes quite often. I know, shame on me. But I have made at least 100 cups with this machine over the past 2 years. And making coffee has become somewhat of a therapeutic mental health ritual. You grind the beans, you steam the milk, you pour the shot, and the quality is as good as any cafe out there. I just wish I didn't have to do the cleaning afterwards. When I first started working 40 hours a week in front of a computer, I started feeling pain in my wrists and forearms within the first 2 years. I never went to the doctor for a proper diagnosis, but what I did do is I switched over to the set of ergonomic keyboard and mouse, and I haven't felt the pain since. I've had these since 2020, and I should really take better care of it and clean it more often. But, you know, they lasted. They still work as well as day one. There's only so many things in life that you use almost every single day, and these are 2 of them. They help me mitigate a potential medical condition that would really negatively impact my quality of life. And they help me produce content so that I can share my story with you. The return on investment on these 2 is absolutely insane. So even if you don't like me, you should leave a like or a comment for my keyboard and mice. The REI backpack. It's always nice to have a backpack when you're traveling, but this REI backpack can double up as a suitcase. You can load it up like a clamshell, and when you reach your destination, you can unload most of the stuff and put it in the hotel and then carry it as a day pack. It's got these straps that you can attach around your waist to redistribute the weight. And it's also got a rain cover for hiking. And it's got a laptop sleeve for you to carry your work stuff with you. It's also dirt colored, so you wouldn't feel bad if you have to set it down on dusty trails, grimy floors, or under airplane seats. All the particles that land on it just kind of blend in. I still try to wipe it down every time after I come back from a trip, but honestly, it's designed to be dirty and broken in, and that's how you know you're getting your value out of it. At $100, it's not the cheapest, but I've been using this for about 3 years and counting. If I just use it for a few more years, then it would be cheaper than a Netflix subscription. Crocs are pretty ugly, but there are times when you don't want your feet to touch the floor, but you can't be bothered to put on socks and shoes. And that's when you put on your Crocs. When you have your Crocs on, if you step on dog pee or dog poop, which, by the way, is everywhere. It's something that you only start to appreciate after you start to become a dog owner. Anyway, if you step on brown, mushy stuff, all you have to do is to come back home and step in the shower with your Crocs on and just wash it all off. They also make great gardening shoes. I still think Crocs are super ugly and I would never wear them to a nice restaurant. But I couldn't care less about what my neighbors think of me. Especially the downstairs neighbor who wants to sue me for my dog barking. At $30 a pair, with daily use, I get more than my value's worth out of it. In terms of cheap and long lasting, there really is no better deal than plant pots. If you take good care of your plants, eventually they outgrow their pots. So every year or 2 when I repot my plants, I would reuse the same pot for a different and younger plant. But it's not just about the reusability. All my plant pots are a dynamic force of life. Compare that with my iPhone. After 15 years of innovation, it still looks pretty much more or less like the first one. But my plant pots are sending out new shoots and leaves and overflowing the containers, and every once in a while suddenly growing alien tendrils that burst into radiant blooms. They are living sculptures that evolve with every passing season, all for the price of $7.99. Actually, I think this one might even be $2.99. Super great deal. In this new digital age we live in, when AI can generate infinite amounts of content, value is not about getting access to information anymore. It's about choosing what kind of information to keep at the top of your mind. And there's no better way to do that than to have a tack board with limited physical space. The things I like to pin on here are my dog training schedule, postcards and gifts from friends and loved ones, quotes I like to live by, and maybe video ideas, As crazy as life gets, I can always come back to my tack board to visualize a more frugal version of my life. The tack board grounds me to reality, which can often be quite limiting, but being grounded is a very powerful feeling. And that's my list. Just a handful of things that have stood the test of time in my everyday life. If you have favorites of your own, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Oh wait, one last thing. This is an expensive and high quality purchase. Lasted 1 year so far, and depreciating in value with every passing year. But we love you all the same. Toshi, we love you all the same.